Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geomologist Presents. I am doing another unboxing. This one is a little different because I have a guest, surprise guest, help unboxer. He's going to shoot the knife across the interwebs and help me out. And that is live from Pelham's Wasteland. It's Arlen Walker,
Yep.
scholar, computer.
I'm good at unboxings. It's a little harder with the distance, but
Yeah. So what I always do, of course, is I measure if I can find my tape measure. So, my Stanley tape measure, black and yellow Stanley tape measure. And then so this particular box is a 33 centimeters or 13 inches. It's pretty interesting, right? How that works out. And I try to give the real measurements for the rest of the world and then the government mandated imperial US measurements or just imperial measurements. So 10 inches across, which is 26 centimeters. And it's thickish. So it is 5 inches or 13 centimeters approximately. I do have a handy dandy thing. I'm wearing my Sanctuary concert shirt jersey or a t-shirt. It has a Warrell Dane. He passed away. Man, I saw this concert way back in 2017, dude. So my body type hasn't really changed much, I
Mm.
guess, in that amount of time. Anyway, so Warrell Dane. So don't need to be quiet. But you can talk. You can chime in whatever that does not apply to you. Have you ever heard of the band?
Um,
Have you ever heard of the band Sanctuary? They're kind of undergroundish.
I I don't think so. I mean, I may have heard, a
I
little
think
bit
he
about it.
was with another band. I want to say maybe Nevermore or something like that. Will
Hmm.
Dane was the
Hmm.
singer. It's a very distinct voice if you've heard it. All right, so it's opening.
Yeah.
Yay! So they don't have circus peanuts in this thing bubble wrap, which I throw up in my pile. So when I send things to, and all that big box for one book, by the way. And here's the book.
That's classic. Nice.
So this is Trinity Continuum Ether, Fear and Curiosity in the Victorian Era. That's pretty cool. It's like a steampunky type of game. Call it what it was: hubris, arrogance, or collective delusion of grandeur. We thought we were the only beings in this universe, and with our grand intellect and glorious empires, we are the best humanity would ever be. Sounds very British. And then
Hmm.
came the ether. Along with the ether came mental expansion, form mutation, matter warping, time manipulation, and discovery of new worlds, new peoples, and new and terrifying possibilities. So, as with Ether came the doom of humankind. Ether brought the Martians to our world and the unraveling of the reality we knew. So
Mm.
actually, it's kind of interesting because I don't know if you do you ever hear did you ever hear the I want to say Wayne, it's not Wayne Reynolds, but it's a this Martian quote unquote soundtrack. It really wasn't a soundtrack for any movie, but so there has this one song called Forever Autumn, and as we approach autumn, I always listen to it, and it's really cool. But it is about the war. It's about the War of the Worlds, right?
Hmm.
So it's interspersed. The music is interspersed with excerpts from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. So this it seems akin to that. Although it's kind of interesting, like they have all these different types of characters you could play, but on the back they got like westerny gunslingers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's that time period, right? So
Yeah, it's
complete
neat that they
Victorian era setting for Trinity Continuum. That is one. This is like on my bucket list to get Trinity. So basically, the old White Wolf, now Onyx Path, superheroes game to the table at some point. Whether it's Trinity, whatever, right? They have so many.
Yeah, it's neat because they, right, the original version they had three game lines, although one of them they only did because they only did the core book for Adventure, but had
Oh,
Adventure and Aberrant and
mhm.
Trinity, and that was kind of like one
Yeah.
continuous sort of story where Adventure was like 1920s and 30s Indiana
Hmm.
Jones stuff, and then Aberrant was like superheroes in the present day
Yes.
90s
Yes.
time, and then Trinity was sci-fi stuff. And so it's cool that they, right, because they've done now with Trinity Continuum the sort of rebuild of that. They started with Aeon, and then it's done Aberrant and Adventure, and so those are the same timelines, but then they've
Yep.
gone back and done the Aether in Victorian, and
Yeah.
there's a ancient like
Aegis,
Greco
Aegis.
mythology in
Yeah.
one.
I don't
Yeah,
have, I don't have, I'm looking at my collect. I have like all the Aegis is another one that it is great. The Greek, mythological era, which
and
we
there's
we
a
talked about way back
yeah, yeah,
with Tyler from A Cleric to a Ringmail, that a possibility of a Greek
yeah,
heroic
yeah.
theme. Someone was supposed to write a campaign centered around the death of Alexander.
Who knows who what that was?
I don't know,
Uh,
some Greek Roman scholar type, who has a really cool podcast where he reads excerpt from books.
mhm,
In any case, so yeah, I have a lot of those. I also have one called Anima, which is like so it's a cyberpunk,
mhm,
but it's a lot of virtual. You have like virtual reality as well as the real life, kind of like that Ready Player One, or for me,
mhm,
more
mhm,
aptly from what I read when I was in reading William Gibson and Neil Stevenson cyberpunk stuff, Snow Crash very much. It has
mhm,
that sort of anima, like you live in two worlds. But yeah, so this is a Victorian setting. It allows you to manipulate fate, space, and time in wondrous and horrifying ways. Societies are both lawful and rogue, and it's got a lot of stuff. So look at that. So it's got like a tripod, Martian tripod there.
mhm.
So yeah, I think that so I was actually thinking, oh man, it'd be kind of cool to run like a War of the Worlds, you know, scenario game, and I guess you could do that with this. But you're right,
Mhm.
it does like part of the intro, it does talk about the Trinity Continuum Rulebook there. And then you have how many chapters? Six, 8 chapters with one. The first one is the world. Uh, this is gonna be kind of blurry unless you blow it up. But so the world, societies, Ethernauts, and Dreadful. So I don't know. That's an interesting. Always I wonder about how the game designers design books, especially. And there's like there's many philosophies, but two that stand out to me are we talk about the world and then we get into character creation, etc., or we talk about the game mechanics and then we talk later on somewhere about the character or the world. We talk about character creation and rules first, and then we talk about the world setting. So, but they don't really get into character creation until chapter 4 here.
Mhm.
Right. So, and then chapter 5 are the rules, and then they have 6 is like magic, the magic chapter, etheric gifts, and then chapter 7 is the GM chapter, story guiding ether, and they have a whole bunch of things on Martians and Martian traits and that kind of stuff, Morlocks and the like, and then something on secret societies. So that's kind of interesting. So this is like they also have some sort of like a fiction, do these community books as you start. And they're also not like your standard book. I don't know what size is this? I don't it's
I
like
don't.
it's not your standard, 8.5 by 11 size. It's a smaller
Yeah, yeah.
one. I don't know what it's called. Someone will tell me one of these days. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a very quickly a Trinity Continuum Ether. So something pretty interesting to play. I know I've done like a character creation session of the Victoriana 5e with Amy, and we had thought about running like a solo one-on-one type of thing with that. Although now we dove dived in. We dived like a dove. Haha, I try to use dove, but that doesn't exist. We dived into like 1e trying to do solo game or one-on-one game that. So but yeah, so pretty cool. Thanks for joining me, Arlen, and for that insight on and giving us a history of like or our overview of the Trinity Continuum universe. I think this one and Aegis are the ones I'm most excited about. Though I would like to play in any, right? I like the sci-fi one,
Hmm.
as well. And Aberrant, of course, as well as like a good superhero game. And you've run some good superhero games for us on the channel. So anyway, so thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.